Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel, where today we're taking a follow-up look at my favorite new laser engraver, the xTool P2. Now, I've reviewed this unit before, and I got a bunch of comments along the lines of, it seems a little too big, too expensive for the general user, but it looks really good for a small business. And I would take issue with the first part. I think this is just great for a small-time user like myself. I can make all kinds of stuff with this laser. It's got 55 watt power output. It's a CO2 laser tube in the back. This thing is crazy powerful, crazy accurate, and I really liked it, which I talked about in the first video. But I wanted to move on in this video to address some of those questions about a small business. What can you do with an xTool P2 laser for your small company? I think this thing would be ideal for mass producing products, laser cut products, marking products. You could put people's names on things like dog tags, keychains, coins. You could operate this at a souvenir stand somewhere in a tourist town or a tourist attraction or a fair, any place where you have a lot of people coming through and you want to quickly manufacture and sell a custom product. You could do it on this thing. You could have a customer walk in, ask for their name or a picture or something on one of the other products that you sell, and you could have that ready in probably a few minutes with this thing. You could also buy bulk unmarked products and customize them by marking your own company name and logo on there. The xTool P2 will mark all kinds of materials: wood, leather, plastic, metals. It's a really versatile machine. Instead of just talking about this idea, I wanted to actually try it. I recently picked up this entire box of surplus USB power banks, and they're pretty neat, but they're kind of boring. There's nothing on there. So wouldn't it be cool to have my name and logo on here? Or alternatively, something like Sandland, the off-grid property that I'm involved with, and you've seen in some other videos. I was actually thinking of doing a fundraising raffle for Sandland, and it would be really cool to have some custom Sandland branded prizes to give out. Something like a bunch of these power banks. So I'm going to see if I can use the xTool to rapidly and efficiently put some kind of Sandland related message onto these, and then we can give them out as raffle prizes. One thing I showed off last time with the xTool P2 is just how fast and easy it is to design and engrave something. In the old days with my old laser engravers, I would have to carefully measure all of the aspects of the device I was trying to engrave. I would have to go back in the house, open up Photoshop, try to get everything sized correctly, design the image that I was going to lay out, put that on a thumb drive, bring it back out here, throw it on the computer, get it into the laser software. It was a whole hassle. Definitely not that fast and easy, especially if you're trying to do something really fast while you have a customer in your shop. With the xTool P2, you can skip that entire process. Just open the thing up, put in the product that you want to engrave, or let's say multiple products. Have the laser take a picture of what's in its work surface. We can use the built-in design tools to get everything aligned just right. We've also got stuff like fancy borders and clip art we could add in there. We can select all kinds of standard or fancy custom fonts. If we're trying to do small text and we want to make sure that it will line up, we can do this detail shot because there are two cameras inside the P2. There's an overview camera that gives us this image of the entire workspace, and then there's another camera actually on the laser emitter head that lets us zoom right in on our work surface and get real detailed images. I've set my material to anodized aluminum. That automatically tells the system to use 70% power and 25 millimeters per second speed. Now, since these things are not flat or thin, we can actually do an automatic spot measurement, and we can go over and take a measurement of the item. So now the laser also knows the exact thickness of our item off of the slats. Alright, our first one is done. I don't really need the laser goggles with this since it's a fully enclosed system with a laser-proof top. I just think they look cool. Alright, and here is our first test product, our Sandland power bank. I think this looks great, and this literally took like under 15 minutes. It took maybe 10 minutes to open this up, put it in the container, design the label, and then it was under 5 minutes to burn this. It was probably closer to 2.5 minutes. So yeah, 10 to 12 minutes to go from a bare product to a customized branded product. So one product is great. Let's see if we can mass produce 6 at once. Now I'm a little concerned because these are not flat objects. You can definitely see there's some distortion on the preview image here, but we've told it the thickness of these items. We've used the camera to get our preview image, and I've copied and pasted the logo onto all 6 items. Let's send it to the laser and see if everything stays aligned on the actual product. All right, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by how well that turned out. All of these look perfectly aligned. I don't see any errors. I don't see anything that slipped off the side. So yeah, this thing is great for bulk engraving items, even thick items like this. So I said the xTool P2 might be good for quick, on-the-spot customizations. When a customer walks into your shop and they want a product with their name on it. Let's give an example of that. We've got some dog tags, or in my case, cat tags. I'm going to pretend a customer has just walked in and wants 2 customized tags for their cats. Let's see how long that takes. And done. And that literally took exactly 6 minutes from when the customer gave me the specification to when I have the product ready to go. It's kind of hard to see on the camera with the reflections, but these little dog tags or cat tags look pretty good. Let's try something else. Let's say you've got a souvenir shop, a convention booth, a display at the state fair, something like that. Somebody comes in with a photo and they want a custom wooden postcard. I've got some of the basswood samples that came with this. So if someone has just sent me this image, how long does it take to make a postcard from that? We've got our presets right here for 3mm basswood. So that pops up with the power and speed to engrave this. We want to scale our picture onto the wood. So I think that's about postcard size. And we also want to cut this out. So I'll just draw a line and we'll set that to cut mode. So the actual processing is going to take about 15 minutes, and that's because it's a pretty detailed picture. The prep time was just over 5 minutes, so the prepping of this image took way less time than the actual lasing out. Laser is done, and that was just over 20 minutes from start to finish. So there is our picture, and the detail on this is great. I don't know if you can see this. I'll have to zoom in here. Try to zoom in and light this. The detail on this is great. You can see just about every hair on fluff. You could burn a postcard template onto the back of your image, either on demand, or you could just make a bunch of blanks like this up front and then throw someone's custom image on there as needed. Here's something a little bit different. Custom porcelain tiles. Let's say you want to retile your kitchen or your bathroom or your bar, and you want custom tiles, maybe just one, maybe all of the tiles could be a different image. Throw it into the laser engraver and let's see what we can do with that. We actually do have a setting in here for glass. Maybe I'll use that as the base and just modify the settings a little bit to see how it turns out. And of course we'll have to measure the custom thickness of that tile. Alright, it measured that to 7.7 millimeters. Well, it isn't quite what I expected on this tile, but we did get kind of a cool 3D effect, and this looks really neat in different lighting. I think if I wanted more of a pattern burned onto the tile, we would have to use different settings, but this definitely looks neat, and especially if you had some under cabinet lighting and you had some tiles like this in your kitchen, that would be pretty cool. There are all kinds of other things you can do with this. You don't have to just do arts and crafts with this thing. If you have a big company and you want to make custom signage, laser engravers like this are great for that. You could make metal signage with painted aluminum sheets the entire size of the work area here. That's pretty cool. You can also make little nameplates for equipment, or you could cut out stencils from cardboard really quickly. I still think one of my favorite things I've made with the xTool P2 is the Sandland custom power bank. And in fact, I like these so much that I did another batch of them. If I did this on one of the old laser engravers, I would have had to do it one at a time, and it would have taken me literally 10 times as long. I was going to do just a few of these on the old laser, but with the xTool P2, I can basically do as many as I want in multiple batches. So for that Sandland fundraiser raffle I'm thinking of, this is great. Now I have a ton of prizes. So for the people who commented on the last video saying this was more aimed towards commercial users than hobby users, I say it's great for both. It's absolutely fantastic for a commercial user. If you're mass producing something, that automatic layout and alignment is fantastic. I can do so much more, so much quicker with this thing than I could with any of the other laser engravers I've played with. This really would be a great moneymaker if you were a small business or even just an artist or creator trying to sell products. Yeah, something like this, the xTool P2, would really let you turn a hobby into a business. Now, it is also good as a hobby device because I've been doing most of this just as a hobbyist. I've made a bunch of stuff for all of my projects like Sandland. We've made safety signs, stencils. I've made parts for other projects, and it really does speed up my hobby working and my prototyping for any of my projects because with the auto alignment, again, auto setup, auto align, 2 cameras in here, it makes the setup part, it makes the prep part of laser engraving go by in a snap. Literally 5 minutes prep work, 15 minutes running the laser, you're done in 20 minutes, where before, with a lot of the other lasers, the prep work would take forever, the alignment would take forever. I would have to click on show outline just over and over and over, have the laser go over my material and show me where is it going to cut out or engrave, is it going to line up. Open the lid, nudge the material, do the alignment again. We can skip all that with the xTool P2. Those 2 built-in cameras show you right where your work surface is. You drop your design right on the work surface, and it is absolutely reliable and accurate. I did not expect the little Sandland deals to come out as well as they did, and they came out perfectly. So again, it saves a ton of time in designing, building, prototyping. I really like this thing, and I'm not just saying that because they sent me the unit. I really like the xTool P2. I would say while other lasers are more just for hobbies, for playing around, this is for hobby or business. You could easily run several types of small business just with the xTool P2 as your main production machine. Now, of course, there are a couple drawbacks to it. I did mention earlier that I thought this would be good for taking to a fair or a festival, but it is really heavy. This thing weighs about 100 pounds, and it's really large. It's also kind of noisy, so it's maybe not the most portable, and it's maybe not the most convenient to have in a booth at a fair or at a convention. Maybe if you had it in the back somewhere, if you had it under a table and you were producing some products, if you had an air purifying unit, or if you were near a window to run the exhaust hose out, then yeah, you could consider bringing this portably along with you, but it is probably more geared towards permanent setup in your workshop, in your office, in your garage, something like that. And as I mentioned in the last video, it does come with antifreeze for the water cooling system on that CO2 laser. So you can put it in your garage and you can leave it there year-round. Unlike a 3D printer, this thing doesn't really care about temperature or humidity, so you don't have to make room in your house for it if you'd rather leave it in the garage. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. If you were curious about how the xTool P2 laser can help with your small business, help you as an artist, as a maker, hopefully I've shown you some options for that. Check out the links in the description for the xTool P2, other xTool products, accessories. They do have other stuff that will go along right with this device, like rotary tools. Anyway, thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.